Hello, family and friends of Westminster Baptist. Man, the day has arrived. We're going to be able to come into a new worship experience as we return to our indoor gathering. Man, the parking lot has served us well in many ways, and we are so grateful for how God has used this parking lot as a way for us to gather and to express our worship and our praise together collectively. But coming this Sunday, we'll just be parking our cars here and looking forward to being able to walk in these doors right behind me so that we can join one another face to face and being able to worship our Savior and our Lord. I just want to share just a few things that you can expect when you gather. It's going to be a little different, but that's okay. Again, what do we say about change here at Westminster Baptist? You're absolutely right. We are going to choose to have a new God experience. God desires to inhabit the praise of His people. And so there's going to be several things that I want to kind of give you a heads up on as you come to either one of two doors here at the church building. We're asking you to either use this door right here at the rear of our building in the main parking lot and come in these sliding glass doors, or to be able to use these doors, the front door. So guys, as we gather together and as you come up to one of the doors, you're going to be greeted by a greeter. And those greeters are going to be wearing masks, and so they're going to be holding some signs. And one of those signs is this: there's a smile underneath this mask. We want you to know we are excited about what this day represents in allowing us to gather as His people. However, we are also cautious because we recognize that there is still a pandemic that is going on. And we're asking that you would love your brother, sister, guest, friend, whoever comes to this indoor gathering, that you would love them by staying 6 feet apart. And we're also asking that, guys, would you sanitize your hands? And I'll show you the sanitizers in just a moment, and because we want to have sanitized, praised hands when you come into the building. Another thing the greeters are going to ask you to do is to please make sure that you read over this sign. And let me just read it to you. It says, "Hello, we're glad you're here. Please protect yourself and others." Guys, if you have any of these symptoms, or if you have been exposed to anyone with COVID-19 virus, we're asking you not to come into our facilities. So if you have a fever, if you have a cough, if you have shortness of breath, guys, we're asking that you would join us on Facebook, where our services are going to be live streamed each Sunday. You can even go back and listen to them on Facebook. And so please be aware of this coming in. Guys, as you walk up to the entrance, you're going to find some new hand sanitizer stations, and we are asking that you would use them. There are going to be hand sanitizer stations at either door, so that you can use them, get your hands clean before you come in the building. We want to take precautions. We don't want to be callous with this new opportunity to gather, because we don't want anyone to get sick. And so we're just really asking that you have personal responsibility and that we do our due diligence to be able to love one another well by keeping ourselves hopefully clean, as far as in good hygiene and sanitizing our hands, but also respecting one another's space. And so we're asking that you will observe that 6 foot rule. We're asking that you would allow there to always be, at all times, at all situations, a 6 foot rule in which you are keeping your distance from one another. This will demonstrate love. This demonstrates respect for those who are part of this family of faith. And so I hope that you will do that. I want you to take a look here at the table. At the table, we've laid out several of the masks. And now, it is not mandatory that you wear a mask. We will have these masks available for you if you desire to use one. Guys, let me just share with you, I would highly recommend using a mask. I would highly recommend you using the mask at all times. Is it mandatory? No, it is not. But as you're coming in, you may want to wear that mask. And we ask that if you desire to wear a mask and you have one, please bring one with you if you desire to wear it. But if you get here and you forgot yours and you need a mask, there will be masks both here at the rear entrance, the welcome sliding glass door, as well as at the front. And so please feel free to pick one of those up and use it. And so as you enter the building, again, you're going to sanitize your hands. And again, as we've talked about, that we're going to continue to encourage and point out that you observe a 6-foot distance rule. Right here at the threshold, there is a blue tape. And guys, Jonathan has done a great job for us, and every 6 foot he has put a line. And this is where we want you to keep that distance. Learn to keep that 6 foot apart. And you're going to find that they're all the way down the hall. There's another thing that you need to be aware of, is that there's going to be doors that are shut, that we want to be closed at all times. And some of them may even be locked. And so we ask that you respect those areas because they have been sanitized. Guys, there are going to be some changes and things that you could expect. We're going to have to block off certain areas of our building. And you're going to find some things that will block off the halls and say, these are reserved, restricted areas. There's going to be some things that we're going to ask that, because this area has been already cleaned, we're asking you to keep this area clean. So this area will be closed. Please help keep it sanitized by not entering. And so you're going to find these signs throughout the building, and you're going to see some places to where we're asking you to not go. Obviously, you see that this is Connect Central, and unfortunately, I'm a big coffee drinker. I enjoy it, but yet we're having to ask that this area be closed temporarily. You'll find that our main restrooms right off the sanctuary are going to be open. We need to remind you that, again, they were clean and sanitized. I walked in just today, and wow, Clorox was definitely strong in the bathrooms. Jonathan has them ready. But you need to be aware that these restrooms will not be cleaned during the service. And so we ask that you do good hygiene and be able to wash your hands before leaving the restroom. Again, another area down to the children's wing. The children's wing for temporarily is closed, and we have put some things up to ask that you not go into that area so that it can stay sanitized. We do have, though, the exits to leave the building open for you. As you finally approach the worship center and you come to the doors, we're going to ask that you stop and wait for the greeter to motion you forward. If you have not washed your hands yet or sanitized your hands, we'll have 2 sanitizing stations right here as you come in the door. When the greeter motions you forward, please go to where they're standing and listen for their instructions. They will either tell you to go to Jerry Kynard on one aisle or Dwayne Blake on another aisle. They will direct you at that time where they would like for you to sit. They will be helping us get our maximum people in the building safely with 6 feet apart. You will recognize, or you will see, some of the pews are going to be roped off, marked off, so that we can have every other row will be empty to allow us that space. We ask that you please observe those ribbons that are marking off those pews to not sit in them. Guys, I'm in the fellowship hall, and I just wanted to show this to you, that it's being prepared as an overflow room. And so if we have approximately more than 90 folks in our sanctuary, because that's what we're thinking our sanctuary will hold and give us the space that is needed for our square footage, then 90 is the number that we're looking at. And so if there's more than 90, we will direct you to come to this room. I am really delighted that on the survey, when we were just trying to get some information on your feelings and thoughts as it related to an overflow room, we had an overwhelming majority of folks who said, man, yeah, I'll be glad to go into an overflow room if we were to return indoors. Well, the time has arrived where we may have to ask some folks to do that. And more than likely, it will be as you're coming in, and as that time comes to where we have filled up the sanctuary, we will just say, we're glad you're here. We're going to direct you now to the overflow room. So just be prepared, be ready for that. And we'll continue to celebrate. We've have monitors, and we'll have different types of way in which we can live stream the service in so that you can be a part of the whole service. Let me just reiterate one more time as I give my 6-foot distance to you that you please observe that 6-foot spatial distancing. I don't want to say social distancing because we do want to be social creatures, but at this time, the hugging of the neck and the pat on the back and the handshake, we're asking that you will refrain from that. I know that will be difficult. It is for me. It has been. But we're asking that you would just, again, honor, respect, love one another by doing that. Because, you see, guys, the more we're faithful in doing that, the longer we can come to this room. Because I really don't want to have to come back like I did 3 months ago and sit right here and really with great anguish and grief as your brand new pastor to have to tell you, guys, I'm here on a Sunday morning, but you've been asked not to show up. I really don't want to have that conversation again. And so please help us take personal responsibility to love well by doing 3 basic things. If you feel led to, and I hope that you will wear a mask, not mandatory, but highly encouraged, that you keep your hands clean, that you sanitize when you come in as well as when you go out, and that you observe this spatial distancing of 6 feet. Guys, it is going to be good to rejoice and to sing and to celebrate together, but we do have to bear in mind the things that are around us in our society and in our world today. I have become very aware of the mental health and the strain that our world and our culture and what we're facing and how it's bearing down on us, bearing down on me. And so we do need one another. We do need to support one another. And I am looking forward to Sunday being with you. And I look forward to being able to say, Father, you are the one that we trust. You are the one that we're listening to. You are the one that we are following. And we want to be able to magnify your name well. So let's love one another. Let's celebrate together, and let's use this time to continue the mission of making much of God so that men, women, boys, and girls who live close to us but who are probably far from God might see and experience the grace of Jesus through our lives. That brings God the glory, and that should be our story. I look forward to seeing you Sunday, guys. Love you.